I never imagined my life would turn upside down because of a social media live stream. As the owner of a successful construction company, I thought I had built a solid future with Melissa, my fiancée of 2 years. We were 3 months away from our wedding when I came home early, from a business trip, exhausted but excited to surprise her. Instead, I was the one who got surprised when I heard her voice coming from our bedroom bragging to her followers about sleeping with her ex. Her words still echo in my mind. He is so clueless. Before I tell you how everything unraveled that night, let me know where you are watching from, and hit subscribe if you have ever had that gut-wrenching moment when someone showed their true colors. The first time I met Melissa was at my buddy Mark's backyard barbecue 3 years ago. She stood out immediately with her infectious laugh and the way she seemed genuinely interested in everyone's conversations. While other women I had dated seemed preoccupied with my construction business success, Melissa asked thoughtful questions about what I enjoyed about my work, not just how much I earned. "I love how you create something permanent," she said that night as we sat away from the crowd watching the sunset. "You build things that last." That comment stuck with me because it felt like she saw beyond my job to what truly motivated me. Our relationship progressed quickly. We started dating, and I found myself looking forward to our time together more than anything else. She was supportive when I had to work late, often bringing dinner to my office when I was finalizing bids. I introduced her to my parents after just 2 months, something I had never done so early in a relationship before. 8 months in, we decided to move in together. Friends said we were rushing, but when something feels right, why wait? We found a beautiful apartment downtown, and Melissa transformed it into a home with her decorator's touch. She made space for my sports memorabilia collection right alongside her art pieces. It felt like a perfect blend of our lives. By our first anniversary, I knew she was the one. I spent 3 months secretly visiting jewelers until I found the perfect 3-carat diamond ring. The proposal happened at La Maison, her favorite French restaurant, with a string quartet playing our song as I dropped to one knee. Her tearful yes and the applause from surrounding diners made it feel like a movie scene. I remember thinking, this is the beginning of our forever. We dove into wedding planning immediately. Melissa found a historic mansion venue that required booking 18 months in advance. We put down deposits, selected catering options, and sent out save the dates to 200 guests. Every weekend seemed filled with wedding errands, taste testing cakes, meeting with florists, selecting invitations. Around this time, Melissa's interest in social media began to intensify. What started as occasional posts about our relationship evolved into a full-fledged lifestyle channel. She created accounts across multiple platforms, posting daily content about our home renovation projects, relationship milestones, and wedding planning process. "People are really responding to our story," she would tell me, showing the growing number of followers. "They love seeing a real couple building a life together." While I felt uncomfortable with how much of our private life she shared, I supported her enthusiasm. She seemed to thrive on the attention, and I told myself it was harmless. If posting about our kitchen remodel or vacation plans made her happy, why should I object? As her online presence grew, so did my construction business. I had landed several major commercial projects that required more frequent travel. What started as occasional overnight trips became weeks away at multiple job sites across the country. During my absences, Melissa focused even more intensely on her social media presence, often live streaming home tours or wedding planning updates. Looking back, I should have noticed the subtle changes. Her phone became an extension of her hand, but she grew increasingly protective of it. She changed her passwords and would abruptly end conversations when I walked into the room. There were unexplained absences she would vaguely attribute to meeting followers or networking events. But I was busy with work and dismissed my concerns as paranoia. 6 months before our wedding, Jake, her ex-boyfriend from college, moved back to town. Melissa mentioned it casually over dinner one night. "Jake reached out today. He is back in the city for a new job and wanted to catch up," she said, watching my reaction carefully. Jake from college. The photographer, I asked vaguely, recalling her mentioning him when we first started dating. "Yes. We dated for 2 years. It ended amicably when he moved to California," she explained. "Would you mind if we grabbed coffee, just to catch up as friends?" I had no reason to distrust her, so I encouraged her to go. "Of course not. It is good to maintain friendships." She smiled and kissed me across the table. "This is why I love you, Dick. You are so secure and trusting." Over the following months, Jake's name came up occasionally. They had apparently reconnected as friends, sometimes meeting for coffee when I was traveling. Once I came home to find them laughing in our living room, looking through old college yearbooks. Jake seemed friendly enough, congratulating us on our engagement and asking about my business with what appeared to be genuine interest. If I felt an occasional twinge of unease, I pushed it aside. Melissa deserved my trust, and I refused to be the jealous, controlling fiancé. She had chosen me after all. We were getting married in a matter of months. The business trip to Seattle should have lasted a full week, but we completed the project inspection ahead of schedule. Rather than staying the extra 2 days as planned, I decided to surprise Melissa by coming home early. I imagined her excitement, perhaps a special night together after being apart. I had no idea I was about to walk into a nightmare that would change everything. The flight from Seattle landed at 8 in the evening. I was exhausted after 5 days of 12-hour site visits and tense negotiations with subcontractors. All I wanted was to be home to see Melissa's smile and fall into our comfortable routine. I texted my business partner from the cab but deliberately did not message Melissa. The surprise would be worth it. Our apartment building doorman greeted me with a knowing smile. "Miss Melissa did not mention you were coming back today, Mr. Richard." "She does not know," I winked. "Surprise for our anniversary month." I took the elevator up to our 12th floor apartment, quietly unlocking the door and stepping inside. The living room lights were dimmed, but I could hear Melissa's voice coming from our bedroom. My first thought was that she was on the phone with her mother, their nightly ritual when I was away. As I moved closer, I realized she was speaking more animatedly than usual, occasionally laughing and responding to comments I could not hear. Then it clicked, she was live streaming to her followers. Rather than interrupt, I decided to watch from my phone, first planning to surprise her after she finished. I pulled out my phone, found her profile, and joined the stream already in progress. There she was, sitting on our bed in a silk robe, her hair styled perfectly despite it being a random Tuesday night. The viewer count showed over 500 people watching as she answered questions about wedding preparations. "Yes, the venue is gorgeous. We are having the ceremony in the Rose Garden and the reception in the ballroom," she was saying. "My dress is custom made, but I cannot show it yet since Dick might be watching." She laughed, and my heart warmed momentarily at her consideration. Then a comment appeared that changed everything. Someone with the username WeddingBells23 asked, "Any cold feet yet?" Second thoughts about forever. With one person, Melissa's expression shifted subtly. She glanced at the bedroom door, then leaned closer to the camera, lowering her voice conspiratorially. "Between us girls, I have been having some fun on the side." She smirked, twirling her engagement ring. "Remember Jake, my ex, I told you about? Well, he is back in town. And what Dick does not know will not hurt him." I froze in the hallway, my blood turning to ice as she continued. "Last Thursday, when Dick was in Seattle, Jake came over. We had dinner, some wine, and ended up right here." She patted our bed, the same bed we had picked out together where I had proposed to her again on our anniversary with breakfast and flowers. "Dick is so clueless," she continued with a sneer that transformed her beautiful face into something unrecognizable. "He thinks Jake and I are just friends catching up. Meanwhile, Jake has been back in my life for months now. He is so much more exciting, so passionate. Dick is reliable but predictable, you know." Comments flooded in, some expressing shock, others encouragement. One asked if she planned to cancel the wedding. "Cancel? No way," Melissa laughed. "Dick is stable. He has the construction company, the savings account, the 5-year plan. Jake is amazing in bed, but he is not husband material. I figure what happens before the wedding does not count, right? And after, well, Dick travels so much for work." She continued for several minutes, detailing encounters with Jake, mocking my trust, and describing how she planned to maintain both relationships. She boasted about using our bed, about texting Jake while lying next to me, about planning to meet him during our honeymoon when I had business calls scheduled. My hands shook so violently I nearly dropped my phone. The woman on screen was a stranger wearing my fiancé's face. Every word shattered another piece of what I thought was our life together. The betrayal was not just the infidelity, but the calculated deception, the mockery, the fundamental dishonesty of our entire relationship. Without fully processing my actions, I typed a comment. "Good to know. Wedding's off." On screen, Melissa's expression changed instantly as she read my words. Her face drained of color, the cocky smile vanishing. Her eyes darted to the username and widened in recognition. Dick, are you watching this? Her voice quavered. I was just joking around for views. None of that was real. I stepped into the doorway, phone in hand, meeting her panicked gaze directly. Every word was recorded, Melissa. Congratulations on going viral. She lunged for her phone frantically, trying to end the live stream, as viewers caught on to the drama unfolding in real time. Comments exploded with reactions. Oh my God, he's there, busted, this is better than reality TV. The last thing I saw before she managed to shut down the stream was her face transformed from cocky to cooked as the consequences of her actions crashed down upon her. Dick, please. I can explain. Melissa jumped from the bed, clutching her silk robe closed. It was just talk. I swear I was making things up to sound interesting to my followers. Jake and I are just friends. I stood motionless in the doorway, feeling strangely calm despite the hurricane of emotions inside me. I already took screenshots of everything you said, I replied. But if you are so innocent, let me see your phone. My phone, that is an invasion of privacy, she protested, clutching it tighter. Privacy. I laughed hollowly. You just shared our private life with 500 strangers. The truth should be no problem if you have nothing to hide. Her expression cycled rapidly through indignation, fear, and calculation. Finally, with trembling hands, she unlocked her phone and reluctantly handed it over. It took less than 2 minutes to find everything. Their message history was extensive, dating back 6 months, filled with intimate photos, plans for meetups, and discussions about me that made my stomach turn. Thursday, Dick leaves for Seattle. Come over at 8. Miss you already. Her message from just last week stared up at me. His response, cannot wait to have you to myself again. Does the clueless contractor still suspect nothing? As I scrolled, memories resurfaced with painful clarity. The girl's night when she came home at 3 in the morning with smudged makeup. The work emergency during our weekend away that required her to return to the city for a day. The sudden password changes on her phone because of hackers. Each suspicious moment I had rationalized away now revealed itself as another instance of betrayal. This is not what it looks like. Melissa attempted, her voice shifting to a pleading tone. We were just flirting. Nothing physical ever happened. I scrolled to photos that explicitly proved otherwise, turning the screen to show her. Try again. Her strategy changed instantly. Tears welled up as she sank to the edge of the bed. Okay, it happened, but it was a mistake, Dick. I was lonely with you traveling so much. You are always working, always putting your business first. Jake was just there when I needed someone. I was working to build our future. I replied, my voice steady, despite the knife twisting in my chest. Traveling to secure the contracts that would pay for the life you said you wanted with me. The wedding you were planning while sleeping with your ex. It meant nothing, she cried. It was just physical. You are the one I want to marry. I love you. I walked past her to the closet and pulled out my suitcase, placing it on the bed. If you loved me, you would not have cheated. If it meant nothing, you would not have risked everything. But most importantly, if you respected me at all, you would not have mocked me to strangers on the internet. As I methodically packed essential clothes and documents, Melissa cycled through every manipulation tactic possible. She cried, screamed, threatened, begged, and promised change. When none worked, she tried to seduce me, dropping her robe and approaching me with the same body that she had given to Jake in our bed. I stepped back, feeling nothing but disgust. Do not touch me. Ever again. Her final attempt was blame. Our friends all knew, she spat bitterly. Mark, Jen, even your precious sister Amy. They all knew Jake and I were seeing each other. Nobody told you because they all knew you would overreact, just like this. That revelation hurt worse than the cheating itself. I paused my packing, absorbing the blow. My closest friends and family had known, and said nothing. The betrayal extended beyond Melissa to my entire social circle. I pulled out my phone and called Ryan, my business partner, and the one friend I trusted implicitly. I need a place to stay, I said when he answered. Melissa has been cheating. I just found out. Shit, man. Come over now, Ryan replied without hesitation. Guest room is yours as long as you need. As I finished packing, Melissa's phone buzzed repeatedly. Her parents, having somehow heard what happened, were calling. When she answered on speaker, her story had already transformed. Dick is overreacting to a stupid joke. I made online, she sobbed to her mother. He is threatening to cancel the wedding over nothing. I took the phone gently from her hand. Mrs. Taylor, I just discovered Melissa has been having an affair with her ex-boyfriend for months. I have proof in messages, and her own recorded admission. The wedding is canceled. I will be notifying the venue and vendors tomorrow. Please inform your family members. I handed the phone back to a stunned Melissa and zipped my suitcase closed. You cannot do this, she whispered, panic setting in as reality dawned. The invitations are out. Deposits are paid. My dress cost $12,000. Consider it the price of the lesson, I replied, heading for the door. I suggest you call Jake. Congratulations on your freedom to be with the man you really want. Her face crumpled as the full consequences crashed down. Jake will not want me like this. He only wanted the forbidden thing, the secret. I paused at the doorway, feeling a moment of genuine pity beneath my anger. Then maybe you should have thought of that before betraying the man who actually did. The door closed behind me with a quiet click that somehow sounded more final than any slam could have. In the hallway, I took my first deep breath as a single man, again painfully free from a relationship built on lies. Ryan's guest room became my sanctuary for the next few weeks. His spare bedroom was minimally furnished with just a bed dresser and desk, but the simplicity was comforting after the chaos. Each morning, I woke up with that brief moment of forgetting, followed by the crushing remembrance of what had happened. Take all the time you need, Ryan insisted, giving me space while ensuring I ate and occasionally stepped outside. The company is fine. Focus on yourself right now. The practical aftermath of a canceled wedding 3 months before the date was surprisingly complex. I spent hours on the phone with vendors explaining the situation and negotiating the return of deposits. Some were sympathetic and refunded portions of our payments. Others held firm to their cancellation policies. I tallied the financial loss at just over $25,000, an expensive lesson in trust. Our shared apartment lease had 6 months remaining. After consulting with a lawyer, I paid my portion upfront to remove my name, leaving Melissa to decide whether to remain or find somewhere new. Our joint bank account, thankfully containing only $5,000 for wedding expenses, was closed after dividing the funds. The most painful task was notifying friends and family. I drafted a simple, dignified email explaining that the wedding was canceled due to infidelity, asking for privacy during this difficult time. The responses revealed who truly cared about me versus who had been complicit in Melissa's deception. Mark, my supposed best friend since college, sent a tepid message. Sorry things did not work out. She made a mistake, but maybe with time you guys can work through this. His girlfriend Jen was more direct. Melissa was going through something, but the live stream was just drunk talk. The thing with Jake was ending anyway. You are making a permanent decision over a temporary problem. These responses confirmed what Melissa had claimed our friends had known and said nothing. I removed them from my life with the same decisive clarity with which I had removed Melissa. Others surprised me with their loyalty. My sister Amy called immediately devastated and in tears. I swear I never knew Dick. I would have told you instantly. She is claiming everyone knew to make herself feel better about what she did. 2 weeks after the incident, I learned through social media that Jake had effectively disappeared from Melissa's life. According to mutual acquaintances, he had blocked her number after she showed up at his apartment demanding he take responsibility for their situation. Apparently, as Melissa had feared, Jake had only wanted the thrill of the forbidden. Once she became available, his interest evaporated. The live stream itself had unexpected consequences. Though Melissa had ended the broadcast, several viewers had recorded portions of it, including my comment and her panicked reaction. Clips spread across multiple platforms, with strangers dissecting the drama and largely taking my side. Melissa's carefully cultivated social media presence imploded as followers turned against her, condemning her betrayal. She attempted to contact me through increasingly desperate channels. First came the apologetic texts, then tearful voicemails followed by handwritten letters. When those went unanswered, she escalated to showing up at my job sites until I was forced to have security turn her away. Her messages cycled between extreme remorse and bitter accusations, sometimes within the same communication. I maintained complete silence, directing everything through my lawyer. The engagement ring, legally mine, as a gift given in contemplation of marriage, was sold, and I donated the proceeds to a veterans' housing project my company was working on. Finding my own place became a crucial step in rebuilding. I purchased a modern loft downtown, deliberately choosing a style completely different from the suburban home Melissa and I had planned to buy after the wedding. The open concept space, with exposed brick and industrial elements, reflected my new beginning, unburdened by her influence. At my lawyer's suggestion, I joined a support group for people dealing with infidelity. Hearing other stories helped me realize that while my pain was real, it was not unique and definitely survivable. The group facilitator, a compassionate therapist named Dr. Marshall, provided tools for processing betrayal without carrying it forward. The goal is not to stop trusting, he explained during one session. It is to trust wisely based on actions, rather than words or hopes. 6 months after the livestream incident, my construction company landed our biggest contract, yet a mixed-use development that would keep us busy for the next 3 years. I threw myself into the work, finding healing in creating something enduring from a foundation of integrity. Melissa's presence in my life faded gradually. I heard through mutual connections that she had left town, moving back to her hometown after losing her job due to the social media scandal. Her lifestyle channel was deleted, her wedding dress sold at a fraction of its cost. While I did not wish her ill, I could not summon any real concern for her future either. Almost exactly 1 year after what should have been our wedding day, I met Lauren at a client meeting. As the lead architect on a restoration project, she challenged my construction proposals with intelligent questions and innovative solutions. Her passion for preserving historical elements while creating functional modern spaces impressed me professionally before I noticed her personally. Unlike my whirlwind, beginning with Melissa, Lauren and I developed a friendship first. We spent months collaborating on the project, gradually sharing personal details during coffee breaks and site visits. When I finally asked her to dinner, she accepted with a genuine smile that reached her eyes. Full disclosure, I told her on our 3rd date. My last relationship ended badly when I discovered my fiancé was cheating. Lauren considered this thoughtfully. Thank you for telling me. Trust is earned through honesty, even about difficult things. Her response exemplified the difference between her and Melissa. Where Melissa had presented a carefully curated version of herself, Lauren offered authentic transparency. She had no secret social media accounts, no password-protected photos, no elaborate performances for online validation. What you saw was genuinely what you got. Our relationship progressed, cautiously built on a foundation of consistent actions rather than extravagant promises. I learned that true connection does not require grand gestures or constant validation from outsiders. It flourishes in quiet moments of genuine understanding and respect. Looking back now, I recognize that Melissa's livestream confession was actually a blessing in disguise. Had I not stumbled upon her betrayal that night, I might have married her, building a life on quicksand. Instead, I was freed to find something authentic. True love is not about blind trust or ignoring red flags. It is about choosing someone whose actions consistently match their words, who values the relationship more than external validation, who would never risk losing you for a fleeting thrill. I am grateful every day that I discovered who Melissa really was before legally binding myself to her rather than after. Have you ever had a painful revelation that ultimately saved you from something worse? Share your experience in the comments below. If this story helped you feel less alone, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you know someone who is ignoring red flags in their relationship, share this video. It might be the wake-up call they need. Remember, sometimes losing what you thought you wanted leads you to what you truly deserve. Thank you for listening, and may you find the authentic love you deserve.